All right. Welcome to Crack Weekly. I'm Kat, head of growth at Crack Labs. Today we are talking about Sphinx in exchange for on-chain commodity trading. I think what you guys are doing is really unique, and I'm going to let you guys dive in about it. I'm not going to say anything about it because I'll butcher it. So before we get into the show, let's go over who is on today. So let's start with Greg, Mr. CEO.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. It's crazy to see these people in the room and this to come full circle. Ellis has been a fan of the project and honestly been helping us even before Cracked Labs inception. And we've known Kat as a close personal friend through the crypto space outside of Cracked, right? So to see all this come together here is really cool. My name's Greg Perrin. I'm one of the founders and the CEO here at Sphinx. My background, without talking your guys' ear off or boring you too much, is in distributed systems engineering. I went to school for electrical and computer engineering, but really fell into the programming side of things more heavily. Was blessed enough to not only grow up in a really entrepreneurial household, but Boulder was a really, really good kind of incubation for myself personally to experience a number of different companies that I worked for to pay my way through school. It gave me a lot of great experience, kind of seeing how companies grow, how they change, and kind of how startup culture, can be most positively influenced not only by its founders, but have a positive influence on the world outside of it. So that's a little bit about me. I'll hand it over to Austin here.
Muted.
Oh, you're muted, pal. It never goes perfect.
No.
Is that
right?
Okay. So.
Oh, yeah. There he is.
We good now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously, great to be here again. It is one of those full circle, only in Web3, only in crypto kind of moments where you get to, be on something like this with a bunch of close friends, all working together on something pretty special. But just to keep it short and sweet about me, my name is Austin Durgee. I am a marketing, business development, business management professional. I've been in the crypto space for about 7 years. Prior to being here, I was basically just always in startup world, whether that always, come back to working with Greg. We've worked on a numerous amount of startups now, and this has been the one that has by far taken off and, grown the rocket fuel to really launch into the stratosphere. So we're really, really excited about that. But before this, I was over at Republic. I worked with a wide slew of startups there looking to, crowdfund capital through the equity-based crowdfunding services that they provide over there. Spent some time in the Web3 gaming space as a fund manager as well. And before that, I was actually in the entertainment space working with top 100, top 200 pop and rock and whatever kind of genre you could throw at me, kind of music acts back in the day. So from the management perspective, the marketing perspective, it's all come from music to technology to startups to crypto. And that kind of is what leads me here. So it's really excited to be working with you guys. Obviously a trader at heart, whether you want to call it DJ or not, that's up to you.
And like you guys said, we're stoked to have you here. It's not every day that we can all just sit down and kind of hang out. And yeah, I've been a fan of the crew here for a couple of years now. It's been awesome to see you guys get traction, kick ass. Congrats on the most recent raise. Right.
Thank you, man.
So yeah, we're gonna. Well, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Ellis, I'm the founder of Crack Labs. A little bit of my background for those of you that are new. Been in crypto for about 8 years. Founded one of the first crypto IRA companies here in the U.S. Had an exit back in like 19. Always been a masochist for BD, growth, sales, that whole side of the house. So have been in tech startups and incubation for about the last 15 years. Cracked, just a little bit of background. We are an invite-only founder community, specifically at the intersection of crypto and AI. And the whole point is to not only hook founders up with who they need to be talking to, but do cool shit on the internet every single day. So that's part of what we're doing here. And like Kat said, we're going to probably go off in 1,000 different tangents. So fuck it, let's dive in.
Yeah, and so I guess to kind of start off, let's go over, tell us about Sphinx, how it came to be, what you guys are doing. Tell us, give it all.
Yeah. It honestly starts with my relationship with Austin, which it also came through music. We became close personal friends almost 10 years ago now, right? It's
You know,
almost 10 years, and he had moved to Colorado, and we just became instant friends from the moment we hung out. It was the damnedest thing.
How'd you guys find each other?
so yeah, I mean, I guess the story, right? I
Denver.
was, I was, I was working on building out my own roster of artists for my management firm that I was working an agency. So we handled the booking, we handled the marketing, we handled all the contract management for a wide variety of different types of artists. I was at the time working with a close friend of Greg's here, and he introduced me to Greg, and then we immediately were like, "Well, you're way cooler than the friend I was working for. So how about you and I end up working together instead?" And we went and got a beer one day, and then it was just sweet love ever since. We started working on a music project, kind of just making it try to happen. So launching a tour across North America, all sorts of different states and venues, and playing different kinds of shows, and opening for a pretty wide variety of awesome artists in that electronic music space. So that relationship really started to percolate from there, and then one thing led to another, and it's like, okay, now we're starting this business. Oh, right, now we're helping manage this other artist. Oh, wait, now we're Bitcoin mining. Wait, now we're trading. Now we're building a commodities, and so it goes from one thing to another. It just kind of snowballed in such a unruly fashion, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's been a incredible experience so far.
Sometimes it's both the age and the mileage, as they say.
Yeah.
Right?
Isn't that the truth?
Right.
Tell me about some of the businesses before Sphinx, right? I think it's the myth is that every business comes out fully baked and that we all just take one swing of the bat and it's just like crack and we're done. But that's reality. It's far from it. So
Right.
walk us through what this journey has kind of looked like for you guys, from meeting each other in a bar over a drink all the way through to just securing that new round.
Yeah. And at the time that Austin and I had met, I had also had a previous exit in robotics and was focusing on music full time after that. Right, I had some free time and some clear mental space and privilege, honestly, to be able to do that. Right, so I was working on music full time. After Austin and I met, another colleague who introduced me to another mutual friend was asking me some questions about Bitcoin mining, right? Now, my brother and I had built a number of miners over the years. Like, we were mining in my parents' basement with GPU rigs. They were we would leave them at my dad's house and get pissed off about the energy bill, but we were making money all the same, so it didn't really matter back in those days. And he, Kevin was his name, but Kevin, was looking to prospect mining operations off of oil and gas, particularly in the Balkan oil basin up in North Dakota. So I ended up going up there with him and starting to look at some of these natural gas sites that he had kind of negotiated some of the power rights to purchase the gas and generate power on site, all using, again, natural gas as a fuel source. But these are with fairly big, notable publicly traded companies: ConocoPhillips, EOG, Devon Energy, and they all wanted to get Bitcoin on their balance sheets at the time. So we ended up starting to build large scale Bitcoin mines on a lot of these oil field and oil site type applications. Some of them were upstream at the wellhead, some were midstream. But all of them used natural gas as a fuel source when we started. Now we kind of
like the energy capture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
We were, well, yeah. Some of them was like pure capture. Some of it was, they couldn't get pipelining into these geographically diverse and difficult to access locations. And the oil is so much more valuable on a, pound by pound basis that they were, a lot of times the oil companies are just more focused on getting that out of the ground than they are even worried about the natural gas. But at any rate, we were doing this at scale, and during the operations of this business, which was called Type X, Russia invaded Ukraine, which caused natural gas prices to just go wild, right? And the companies that we had contracts with were coming back to us being like, look, this is now a variable rate deal. We're not getting you flat price natural gas. We can go sell it downstream for more money, like basically pound sand. So we started trading natural gas futures to try to hedge away some of that volatility, right? Just to produce Bitcoin at the most stable power rate that we possibly could. And it was, Austin was involved in this business, kind of from the marketing perspective. And I remember at the time we had gone over to the Solana conference because we were looking to expand some of these data centers to accommodate new L1 validators, right? So we were kind of exploring Solana as an option for that. It was not the most power intensive application, but we were considering a diversification strategy at that point. And that's where we met Siobhan, who is our other co-founder. He can't be here today due to time zone differences. He's in Europe at the moment and enjoying some hard-earned vacation, which I'm very happy about. Guy works his butt off, but
we don't have them over here.
Yeah, and yeah, right. I know, freaking. We need to adopt their mentality, right?
No kidding.
Yeah, but that's where we met Siobhan, who kind of became the third leg. Now, Siobhan had a trading background at Goldman Sachs, right? He was a trader at Goldman for a number of years, as well as kind of like worked on some of their back end prime brokerage technologies. And we were just fighting upstream with like finding cost-effective ways to trade natural gas, right? I mean, there was no, compared to crypto, which Austin and I had been trading pretty heavily. Like there was no 24/7 market. The capital efficiency issues were baked in. To get a direct seat to trade on the CME is like a 6 to 7 figure cost, right? And unless you want to go through a brokerage and get skinned alive on cost, I'm used to being able to trade at the order book level. I want to know the price at the book. I don't want the brokerage's price. I want the real price, right? The brokerage is just a middleman, basically. So we started looking at this, and I guess the idea came about of like, hey, well, what if we brought some of that trading activity on chain? Like, why is this not being done on chain? And at the time, it was a little ahead of its time. Like now we have
pre-RWA hype, right?
RWA wasn't even a word then.
Right, exactly.
Hear that then. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was it took some time, right? Like we spent at least 6 to 9 months just like in a self-funded mode, like exploring different technology processes and patterns, understanding what we could and couldn't put on chain. And we just went back and forth on design, and finally just settled on building a derivatives exchange, right? Tokenizing oil, it sounds great in theory, but when you consider the size of the market and the number of players, it is a terrible idea. I'm going to be honest with you. Like tokenizing the broadband oil market, it's just it's a fool's errand, right? Especially to create a fully liquid market that's going to support an exchange's business model, right? I can go tokenize $1 billion worth of oil with one company, but like the liquid market for oil trading is so much bigger than that, right? So to support this, we decided, well, let's build a derivatives exchange, right? Let's basically build an on-chain version of the CME or ICE, which are kind of like the two big name brand competitors that trade the stuff today. So that's kind of, that's how the genesis came about. Once we figured this out, a billionaire named Bob Alt came in and bought out all of the mining acreage that TypeX owned at the time. He was an investor in one of the private sites, but he came in, swooped everything up, and we moved on to what we saw as the better opportunity. Really, Bitcoin mining was great, but like, the margins started to get compressed. The competition started to, really ramp up, especially. And at the end of the day, we saw this as a better end game, not only for us, but as a business in general.
Awesome. And then Austin, talk to me about how much of a pain in the ass it was getting business off the ground when you were bootstrapping.
Oh man. So the biggest thing was selling the vision, right? A lot of people, again, Greg said it, himself here, is it was a bit early of an idea at inception, right? When we started going to people being like, hey, we want to take down the incumbents of like the CME or ICE or the Guangzhou, these large scale commodities exchanges that have been running as an empire for ages now, people look at you like you have 3 heads and you look like you're about to grow another one, right? So we ultimately had to really fine tune our approach, our understanding of the industry, the kinds of people that we want surrounding it. And it wasn't until we started getting, the first bits of traction of like these bigger conversations with some of like the more major players in that trading ecosystem, in that trading space from the traditional side, that people started to take us serious. That was the biggest hold, right? Was making sure that we had the legitimacy behind what we were saying, and we knew exactly how to approach this industry from a relationship standpoint, from a business standpoint, from just understanding how what makes the traditional industry tick, and how we're going to provide that with the enabling technology that is blockchain, and then make that a more progressive and forward thinking product and really carve out that niche for ourselves. That was the hardest part, getting that first notch of approval from some of the largest players in the space was really, I think, what began to set us apart and set us up for success.
And then you guys, like in particular in your case, you obviously had a lot of different choices when you were thinking about how and where and when to launch Sphinx, right? What made you want to go the L1 route as opposed to the building on top of somebody else's chain, for example, in this case?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. And honestly, it's still something that keeps me up at night. I'm like, is this a good idea? Should we be doing it this way? But the reality is, vertically controlling the compute infrastructure is really important for an industry that operates the way that, the commodities trading one does. You really start to sit back and look at the technology that's been developed around this, and then you look at the state of the art with blockchain, and being able to marry those two together was something that required us to build our own L1 and really make sure that we have full control of that infrastructure. Part of that is because of performance. We believe. We believe the world is going to more of a chain of chain style view anyways, right? Like as chains become cheaper and more accessible and easier to build, and the tooling around them gets better, that's kind of where I see things going. And Cosmos is a testament to that, right? Everybody can sit here and pound their chest about, the Ethereum ecosystem, but look at the number of projects built on Cosmos in the top 100 by market cap. It speaks for itself. And we not only see a future in being able to control the infrastructure for ourselves, but I also want to invite builders that want to build, a next generation bonds exchange, treasuries exchange, forex exchange. I want to invite those types of builders to come build on this L1. It's really an L1 that's designed for high throughput exchange infrastructure. As opposed to being a kind of like an agnostic chain that's basically built as a back into banking. Like this is built as a high performance exchange system, right? And we are the commodities exchange that exists on top of this, but that we don't necessarily want to be the only exchange as time goes and as our ecosystem grows.
Kat, I know you know what I'm thinking about right now, so just remind me to come back to it in a little bit, and we'll open that one back up. Guys, there's a bunch of cool shit that we can talk about and where we can actually go down a ton of different roads. But when it comes to the Sphinx journey, right? You've had the standard light bulb aha moment. You guys have the pedigree. You've already gone through the trenches, particularly in mining in regards to oil and natural gas. And then you're like, all right, fuck it. We're going to launch our own exchange. We're going to give users the ability to leverage, which right now, what's the leverage capability on Sphinx?
Right now, well, we're still pre-launch, but we would like to see up to 100x, right? I mean, standard leverage on the CME, for instance, is 10x, right? You can't get any more than that. So yeah, we and that's just due to antiquated banking rails and compute systems that they have, right? Like the capability already exists. I mean, let's put it this way: if a asset as volatile as Dogecoin can pull off 100x leverage, I guarantee you oil can.
There's no liquidity issue in commodity capital markets. Let's put it that way, right?
So you're absolutely right. The liquidity's there, and traders want that opportunity, right? For the ones that have the alpha and can generate positive outcomes for themselves, why not let them go to the casino about it?
It opens up a whole new couple of zeros for all of these quant teams that are out there. So tell me, and Kat, I know I'm taking over a little bit, but
don't worry, man. This is a casual conversation. So if you're taking my job, I'm happy about it. I'm chilling.
So right now, from a user perspective, right, where are we? Can users hop on, fuck around on testnet, kind of get involved? How can somebody that's listening to this from the outside start to
right now we are in the process of getting ready to launch a whole new access to our community, so if that's going to be like right now we have a Telegram. It's just kind of ticking along. We're just about to launch a full-fledged and capable Discord. In there, we'll have ways for you to go to and sign up to participate in testnet, which will be doing a bracketed system for testnet where we'll be letting people in slowly. Community members that are active and engaging with us will have opportunities to come in and test alongside us in private settings and give feedback. We also have an opportunity for you to go on our website and just provide your email, and we will reach out to you about your schedule availability in testnet here in the near future. So if you're looking to be one of the early access users, go to sphx.io, and just sign up with your email right there, or you can contact us personally and we'll get you set up with our Discord once that's ready and live. If you're looking to engage with the community, we have a pretty hilarious community of degen traders and very sophisticated commodities traders. So that is kind of in its own way bringing a pretty interesting dynamic to our space.
Love it.
So it's not what you'd expect. You have people sharing Pepe memes 1 minute and then some guy going over macro trend analysis of the past 7 years. So for LNG, right? So it gets kind of interesting in the space. The new Discord, I think, will have a really nicer way of parsing out those community members to engage how they wish to engage. But we'll, through that, we'll let people kind of drip feed into the testnet here in the near future.
Give them all some roles.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
We've been we're kind of in this testing phase, right, where we've been able to kind of like massively increase some of the throughput, and really like we're focused too on making sure that we provide the right interfaces to the professional trading community. From day one at launch, like it's like a first handshake, right? You don't get another opportunity to launch, right? So we're being very patient and pragmatic about it. All of our investors have been incredibly encouraging and understanding with our launch timelines, and like when we do this, we want to make it bang, right? It's it doesn't have to do anything except work perfectly the first time, right? And there's always bumps on the road, but to really realize the vision and to captivate the community appropriately, it's been a long haul, right? So many people are able to build quick flip products in crypto, and the VC community's gotten used to that, right? It's kind of what we found, right? This idea of being able to very quickly flip product and cash out on tokens is something that a number of investors have become really enamored with, and frankly we've tried to stay away from those folks.
I'll shamelessly plug Cracked, where we are very, very happy to service real builders, real businesses, and if we see some bullshit fork and pump that fun, we're likely not really excited. So no shade at Pump That Fun, but built up.
Well, we actually just launched our Pumped Out Fun earlier this morning. I'm just kidding.
No way. I was about to say no way.
It's got fun. Sick.
No. No. It's true. You see a lot of quick flip products in crypto, and people who are trying to get their early and first probably exit ever in their entire career. And I mean, for them, if that's what works for them, that's fine. But we're partnering with legacy institutions. We're partnering with some serious, I'm going to use the word, some serious cracked advisors from the traditional space, right? And we're feeling really good about that. So we want to build a, legacy product. We want to build something that's here for the long haul. And we wouldn't be still chugging along doing exactly what we're doing if we didn't believe that that's the case.
Got that right.
Yeah, now we finally have some tailwind with the narrative too, right?
So
Go ahead, Kat.
And in terms of your guys' use cases, can we dive a little bit? I was just kind of going over your guys' docs and how you guys have PCSFS, the PCSF, CF, all of those different things without the need of complexities of physical exchanges, all that. But kind of what Sphinx also offers just retail users. I have terrible internet. I'm in Portugal.
It's not been bad. It's been okay.
Show them your acronym, Greg.
Your acronym. I know tech loves to make up fancy ways to talk about really simple stuff. It's just
that's literally the whole industry in a nutshell. We decided to make our own vocabulary for shit that already exists. But,
quite literally, yeah. Vis-a-vis RWAs. I'm like, guys, this has been around a long time. Yeah, and I guess, in terms of our product offerings, like we're very focused on the energy markets first, right? Just given that
Mm,
that's our bread and butter. Assuming that we start to, see uptick and see traction, we'll expand to other hard and soft commodities, and then, kind of to other adjacent markets, right? That would look like, expansion into, agriculture, potentially precious metals, especially the energy adjacent ones and the ones that give natural AI hedges, things like, silicon, lithium,
yep.
cobalt, nickel, all of these
Mm.
things that don't really have
Then would
well.
you go into miners separately too as you like expand that out? So like not only the underlying asset, but you know, this
Mhm.
Yeah,
subsidiaries.
yeah, we've considered it, and we've had a lot of a lot of interest in that, especially as AI gets more popular, right? People are looking for natural hedges against not only the slew of upcoming IPOs that are going to happen in that space, but also against the physical assets that are needed to power those businesses, right? Being able to provide a trading platform for those kinds of activities is something that's very interesting to us. But again, this in the early days, we're very focused on oil, natural gas, gasoline, jet fuel, power markets. We have some really exciting. We just signed a board member from Trafigura. They're one of the biggest trading shops in the world, and we're working on some power products with them. But in particular, it's really also about finding new and novel ways to trade what is going to be kind of cornerstone assets in the upcoming energy transition, right? Like the world is transitioning away from oil and natural gas, and we recognize that and understand it. I don't think it's going to happen. Everybody thinks it's coming sooner than it is, which I don't think people just realize that oil's the constituent that helps drive your car, right? It's in literally every single thing around you that you're looking at right now. So the reality is the industry isn't going away, but it is going to change, right? And we kind of want to be a more nimble outlet compared to some of our competitors when it comes to listing new assets with some of the
Mhm.
very exciting partners that we have coming down the pipeline.
Right.
We're listing new and novel types of energies. And as that transition accelerates, so will the trading activity there.
Super, super cool, guys.
You're
You
on
just
mute.
gave me an idea, but I'll tell you afterwards and offline for potential
Sure.
features. So
Yeah, of
uh,
course. I guess the other big innovation too is we're gonna the trading industry is just used to futures and options. Bringing perpetual swaps to these assets is extremely important as well as 0-day options. These are all advents that if we can get a marriage between the traditional institutions and the retail participants, it's gonna make everybody happy, right? Everybody gets easier ways to trade, lower margins, higher leverage, greater liquidity. Like all of these things can kind of come together under one roof, and that's really exciting for us. We think that kind of as the product evolves, you know there are new and novel contracts that kind of can be introduced outside of the scope of at least what's being traditionally offered today. And some of that comes with the advent of crypto. Some of it comes with a more lenient regulatory body that seems to be at least be in place in the US right now, right? But they're open to new ideas. Yeah, fingers crossed, right? Yeah, the wind always
yeah.
blows the other direction at some point, so it's a good make hay
Again,
while the sun is
man,
shining.
we had one of the first crypto IRA companies in the States back in 17, which it's been a harrowing couple of years, but thank God we're through it. So, so tell me a little bit, well, let's just put it this way: it takes a village to get a startup off the ground, right? Tell us about some of the help you've gotten along the way, and shamelessly plug crack as many times as you'd like.
It would happen
Oh,
naturally. So
it would.
There you go.
Yeah, we gotta tell our origin story about how we met you as well. But
Yeah.
you know,
Let's start with that.
Yeah, let's start
yeah,
there.
yeah. I mean, I remember we were at East Denver, and I believe at the time you were still working for the security outfit.
mhm.
And
Yep, I was chief revenue officer at Hexens before founding
Hexens.
Cracked. So
Right.
we were heavy in all things security related. And I
Right.
think at the time you guys were like kind of just starting, but also kudos to you. You were thinking about security early.
Certainly.
Right?
yes.
No.
Yeah, it's and again, man, we like to explore the landscape, but it's a good, we love to meet people too, and I remember somehow Karen is tied up in this. I'm trying to remember who
Well, I was
introduced
just
you.
thinking about her.
Ellis introduced us to Karen. Like,
Yes,
Yes.
that's how it was. I was like, Karen is
99% sure.
Karen
Funny
is
enough,
Karen,
though,
if you're
I'm
listening,
actually
hi.
Karen.
I'm speaking to Karen tomorrow. I'm actually we were due for a catch up, so funny enough, I'm
Too
giving
fun.
her a ring tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, crypto mommy.
Crypto mommy.
That's right.
But yeah, man.
Hashtag
I
crypto
mean,
mommy.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, even from the moment we met you, man, you've like, very consistently given us feedback, given us your time, like given us the proper advice, and we really appreciate that, and we really appreciate being a part of Cracked Lab, especially as one of the early cohorts, man. It's a real privilege to be listed on your roster, and I know it's going to grow to be something great too. Like we'll be really, really happy our name is up there. We already
I mean,
are.
if you really think about the butterfly effect here, and I'm going back and I'm putting like notches on paper here, I'm thinking about it. We meet you at a random side event in the Rhino District for ETH Denver, right? Had like the ant farms all over the walls and whatnot.
Yep,
which is
that was
pretty
our event.
interesting. Which is pretty interesting,
It
right?
was.
And that was cool. And we get to connect there. You connect us to Karen pretty quickly, and then all in tandem, you're even without the outfit of Cracked Labs, you're kind of helping us incubate naturally as like a friend, which I thought was just tremendous. Like you're helping us meet the right people. You're looking over our documents and providing feedback. You're looking at some of like our go-to-market strategy and giving us ideas and more novelty to our offering, which I thought was at the time I was like, who is this guy? Yeah, surely he just wants a security deal out of us. But no, it was way more than that. Clearly, we the relationship just blossomed from there. And I'm putting the butterfly effect statement out because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have gotten the first check-in through one of our closest friends and ultimate greatest investors, who was Preston Eckhart over at Eckhart Capital, who is the leader of our previous round. And to this day has become a very, very close friend of mine. It's just a tremendous person. So if it wasn't for that chain reaction, I don't think that Sphinx would even be here right now doing what we're doing, because that truly put us in the good grace of time. So it was a tremendous just little butterfly ripple effect. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like the community building support, all of the incubation, for lack of a better word, as a friend, it brought us into now what is Cracked Labs, which is basically that on steroids, right? So now we're feeling like the network has grown 10x, the opportunity has grown 10x, and the capabilities of what you're doing as an incubation platform has just been incredible. So whether it's from introductions to fundraising to iteration of documents, but also like you call it like founder therapy, right? It's one of those things where it's like having you in this in our wheel. It's been just a Swiss Army knife. So yeah.
Yeah, Austin makes a really good point, man. We never would have gotten that lead check-in without the intros that you
It's
made.
the butterfly
You're
effect, man.
absolutely
It's
right
huge.
about that.
Fastest way to my heart's through flattery and our heart.
Yeah.
Put that way.
It's not flattery.
It works.
It's real.
It
right?
works, man. Yeah, it's true.
Well, so the awesome segue of another thing that I think that we should actually talk about a little bit more.
Sure.
So we are going to be launching a new, let's call it go-to-market project, primitive, a new way to do some of the things that are being done out there from a user acquisition standpoint, a project acquisition standpoint, devs, founders, the whole thing. I'll talk to you more about it offline, but for those of you that are listening, I'll leave you with this. It will be quick, fast, and whoever wins gets 10 grand in cash to their face at the end of the night.
Nice. I love that.
We'll talk more later on.
Wonderful.
But yeah, guys. So Kat, I'll hand it back over to you. I know we're coming up on time. It's been
just kind of let's end it with any news you guys want to announce. Upcoming partnerships, things that we should look forward to, yada yada.
We have, I think, a handful of things. I think One of them we have to be relatively vague with, but we have a partnership announcement in the pipeline that I know will just blow hair back. We are all over this company. We have probably all at one point worked or used this product or this company. So I'll leave it as that. But we have a very feature focused partnership coming to light that I think will bring a whole new breath into the industry by, really wrangling a lot of outside players and getting them to utilize blockchain and crypto for the first time ever. So we're really, really excited about that. You'll hear more about that in like the next 30 days, but that's about all I can leave you with on that. Things to look out for are definitely the launch of our Discord. We're going to be doing a lot of research focused driven Medium article posting and sharing there, a lot of research around why we're building what we're building, what Greg has done and designed here and why it's important, and ultimately a lot more of the macro trends in the commodity space. So some exciting stuff for people to glom onto and enjoy reading and get to learn more a bit about us. I think that's all I would have. Besides, we are looking for people to come build with us. We love builders. We're trying to talk to as many builders as possible. As Greg mentioned, we're looking for people to come build on our exchange-focused technology and blockchain. And then from there, I think, we're raising money. You got checks to throw. Come talk to us.
Nice.
Awesome.
And-
And just a shout out, tell everyone that's watching what your Twitter is. I know what it is, but I want you to say it.
What is my Twitter? You can do
Sphinx
at Sphinx Protocol. At Sphinx. I thought you were talking about my Twitter. I was like, you don't want to follow my Twitter. My Twitter. Yeah, come follow at Sphinx Protocol. Check out the website at sphx.io.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
And
Thank you, guys.
well, yeah, guys, it's fun. We got to do it again soon.
Please.
Let's stay back after this call because again, I think it's actually pretty good timing and aligns with everything we've been talking about. So,
Yeah,
Sure.
of course.
for those of you listening, thanks for stopping by. We will see you next week for Crack Week.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Crack Weekly, baby.
Thanks, guys. Great to see you guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.